Hey everyone, Keith McGillis here, KCDC Designs. If you want to see how I created these white marble sample boards, stay tuned and enjoy the video. Okay, so what I have here is, this is white metallic, and this is the white metallic, which is a Polycolor white metallic. And then I have, this is the perfect pearl. And all of these can be purchased from RK3 Designs. The perfect pearl is the original pearl from Stone Coat, or the Polycolor, if you will. And that perfect pearl does have a much, I'm not going to call it yellower, but kind of a more of a yellowish pearl. Then I have pearl white, which is a just resin color. And this pearl white is more of a, I think I would call it maybe an oyster pearl. And then I have titanium white, very opaque, as you can see. And titanium white is from Just Resin. Saved. So let's just pour these out randomly.
Here I'm taking the tinted epoxy and applying it to my sample boards in a random pattern. I'll then come back and meld the colors together and bring this piece to life.
And let's just get these melded out. So when you meld your colors, as you can see what I'm doing here, you can either meld in a directional or kind of a marbling type meld. And that's what I'm doing here, is just kind of a marbling type meld, because I want to have more of a marbled look. There's not going to be a really directional flow to this design. That's really pretty. So I didn't know if I was going to like that pearl that's in there, but I do. And I may put just a little bit more. In there, and then just meld that in lightly. Well, I kind of like that. Actually, I like that a lot. Just a little bit. That is very, very cool marbling that's in there. And again, I would normally let these settle a little bit because, for instance, the white metallic in this one, those metallics are going to settle. And so in about 20 minutes or so, I'd be able to remeld that to wake those metallics back up. But again, with this customer, she didn't want any bling, so I may just leave that as it is so I don't wake those up too much. I really like that. That is really pretty. So on this one, I'm going to take my gloss charcoal spray paint, and I'm going to very lightly fog. Which one do I want to do that with? I'm going to very lightly fog just this area here. That was heavier than what I wanted. So now I'm just going to take my Bondo spreader. I'm just going to very lightly skim across the top of that.
Here what I'm doing is very lightly skip trialing over the spray paint I just put down.
And then I'm just going to let that meld a little bit. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to get my heat gun, which I apologize, I don't have that set up. But I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm going to soften that up just a little bit. So again, here what I'm doing with my heat gun is I just want to soften the colors a little bit. I really don't want to move it around too much. I feel like I got a little bit too much spray paint on there, a little bit more than what I was after, but I'm just going to soften that and see how I can get that to move this around.
This
one here, so what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to get some epoxy on my hands. So now I have a wet gloved hand, and I'm going to spray a little bit of the charcoal gray. Actually, I'm going to use a lighter. So this is RustOleum, and this is the pewter gray. So what I'm going to do, since I have my wet gloved hand, I'm going to take a little bit of that pewter gray on my hand, And I'm just going to kind of run some streaks in here. And then I'm going to take some charcoal. Okay, and we're just going to let that move a little bit. Now with this one, I think I might hit it. Let's try a little bit of the pearl metallic on this one. And then we're just going to let that set for a little bit. And this one here, I'm going to soften those up just a little bit with the heat gun.
So taking my heat gun, I'm not only softening up those veins that I just put in there, but what I'm also doing is basically heating up the whole project. So that's going to help everything flow a lot better.
Okay, I'm going to let that cool off a little bit before I spritz it with some alcohol. If I were to spritz it with alcohol right now, with the epoxy being as warm as it is, it's going to create cells, but they're going to close right back up. Now, there's times that I may want that to happen where I may not want defined cells. I may just want, because of the fact, especially if you're using a colored isopropyl alcohol, I may just want to add the color to that, but not necessarily have the defined cells. So I might spray those and spritz that to be able to get that little bit of that pearl color in there without having those defined cells. I really like how that marbling looks, and you probably can't see it in the video, and I certainly hope there's not a whole lot of glare in there, but you can see the pearl metallic that's in there as well as the titanium white. You can see a difference between the two. Looks really cool. I did put some white metallic in that one too, didn't I? I'm tempted just to leave that as it is because it's really, really pretty the way it is. And it's going to continue moving a little bit. Man, I don't think I want to do anything with that. I really don't think I want to do anything with that. Well, do you just take my word for it? It's really pretty. I think I'm going to spritz that with some clear isopropyl alcohol because the black that I have in there, I want to soften that up, give that just a little bit of, yeah, oh yeah. Ooh, man, that is, there it is. That's just a walk away Joe. Walk away, Rhonda. I'm walking from that one. I'm walking from that. I really, really like that. This one here, I'm debating on what more can I do, what more should I do? Is there anything else I can do? I'm not crazy about, it kind of looks like there's splotches of that pearl. So I may add just a little bit more in there. And I wonder, I do have some titanium white. Just knowing this customer, there's going to be too much black in there, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to brighten this up by getting some white in there.
So we'll see if we can brighten that up some with some of the leftover titanium white.
I don't have high hopes, but we're going to just meld that in. Just a little bit. Now I'm going to take my torch. I've got a lot of material on there, but I want to take my torch because I want to get it more fluid and I want to soften all of that up a little bit.
Again, with the heat gun right here, all I'm doing is just softening up the colors. I'm not wanting to move them around any.
All right, we're going to let that cool off a little bit. This one here, once again, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I like the fact that it's got some of the pearl in there. I like the fact that it has kind of the sporadic veins, and then again, this is going off what the customer was asking for. This one actually is the longer it sets and the longer it softens, the more it has a very, very pretty marble look to it. I don't think I'm going to do anything else with this one, because it has the white, it has some pearl in there, it has a little bit of the charcoal in there, but it's the charcoal is more of the undertone. So when I stand back, it's still a bright looking piece, and this one is too. So I think I'm done. I think we're going to call it. Time to walk away. I think it's time to walk away. I do think it's time to walk away. I like the pearl that's in there. I like some of the white metallic that's in there. The titanium white gives a little bit of brightness. The charcoal gives that little bit of veining look to it. And what's cool is the pewter gray is almost like a pewter, but that's kind of a brownish gray tinge to it, but it goes really, really well with the charcoal and also the pearl. Can you guess I like this one more? But this one here is really growing on me because it's very marbled. Very marbled. I'm not doing anything else with it. I'm not going to add any veins to that. That is just way too cool the way it sits. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop, not doing anything with it, except I do see one little thing that's bothering me just a little bit. Walk away, Keith. That right there. That was bothering me just a little bit. Just like that one is. There. Okay. I'll come around the other side, but I know the glare is going to be a lot, but it'll give you a little bit different look. And I'll just have to try to stay away from the glare. And this one, the marbling that I was talking about, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Is that marbling in there? And then let's go back over to this one here. So I apologize, I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but it just looks amazing. I would have that on my countertop every day of the week, except it's white, which means I don't want it on my countertop. Well, we'll just have to see how that looks when I get it edited, but I'm really happy with the way they turned out. I hope you all like it. You know what? I'm beginning to like that one a little bit more. Wow. Okay. All right, everybody, that's all I've got. These really turned out nice. Be sure and check out RK3 Designs on YouTube. Subscribe. Check out Rhonda's videos. Stone Coat Countertops, of course, and this is Stone Coat Countertop Epoxy, as well as all of the products that I've used today during this pour can all be purchased at RK3 Designs. So thanks everybody again for watching. This is Keith McGinnis with KCDC Designs out of Eagle, Nebraska. Click the subscribe button, ring the bell to be notified of future tutorials, and we will see you on the next video. Thanks everybody.